The Lost Reality is back in Chapter 4, Season 4, or was this all a plan to destroy the Reality Zero? Now, to understand this, we have to go all the way back to Chapter 1, Season 5. Also, leave a like on this video for 5 months of good luck. The very first time we saw anything relating to the Lost Reality was at this very moment. We had this in-game live event where a purple lightning bolt created this purple cube. At the time, we had no clue what this thing was. The only thing we could do with it was bounce on it. Somehow we knew that this thing was evil because every time we shot this thing, it would shoot us with a lightning bolt. It would deal damage. After a while, we realized that cube was alive and it was moving. We just didn't know where it was going yet, but every few hours, the cube would start moving. The cube started from paradise palms. It went to shifty shafts, through dusty divots, through the thick forests of wailing woods. Finally, just before the end of the season, it reached Loot Lake. For the very last time in Chapter 1, Kevin the Cube flipped right into the water of Loot Lake, and then something extraordinary happened. Kevin the Cube slowly starts melting. This is the very first time in the history of Fortnite, parts of the Fortnite map has been corrupted by the Lost Reality. Also, since people didn't know the Lost Reality at the time, they had no clue that Kevin the Cube was creating the Lost Reality logo on the map. Season 6 is here. This is the season where the Lost Reality corrupts literally everything, because the Loot Lake Island is floating in the air. It starts moving around the map, corrupting everything. And when I say everything, I mean literally the locations, even skins like Bright Bomber, who has now been corrupted to Dark Bomber. After corrupting the map, Kevin the Cube starts to destabilize, and that was because of the 0 point. A 0 point destroys Kevin the Cube. Just before Kevin the Cube exploded, the 0 point drifts us all to the in-between. This is the world where the 0 point is from. We were all given a butterfly who drifts us back to Fortnite Island. We find out that the Kevin the Cube was gone, and for the first time in the history of Fortnite, the Lost Reality has been defeated. Christmas is here, but unfortunately, the very first Lost Reality villain is on his way. Now that the foundation has been laid by Kevin the Cube, it is time to send a warrior. Lost Reality picks one of their bravest warrior who has the power of the ice, and he carries one of the most powerful sword in the history of Fortnite, the Infinity Blade. You can find both the Infinity Blade and the Ice King high up in the mountains, this castle called the Polar Peak. One of his mission is to keep this mysterious man prisoned in the dungeon of Polar Peaks. Someone sneaks in and helps him escape. This mysterious prisoner is revealed to be the Fire King. In anger, the Ice King decides to freeze the entire Fortnite map because he knows one of the weaknesses of the Fire King is ice. During Season 7 live event, the Ice King uses his power, summons an evil spirit from the ocean, and he uses this giant spirit to freeze the entire Fortnite map, and he is successful. He has successfully frozen the entire Fortnite map, but the Fire King is very smart. To protect himself, he summons volcanoes and geysers. Season 7 is here. The Ice King is still on this map, and he is still hunting for the Fire King. He knows that the Fire King is hiding in a secret base inside of the volcano. Because of the power of the prisoner and bunch of his ninja armies that he has recruited, the Ice King accepts defeat, and the second Lost Reality warrior has been defeated. For the rest of Chapter 1, we don't hear anything about the Lost Reality until the Black Hole event. After the 0 point imploded, we were all sucked into a black hole. Fortnite was literally down for 2 days. People saw random numbers every few 2 hours. These numbers were all codes. It was a message sent by the scientists, and it read out that nothing is now inevitable. This is the first time we hear the word nothing, and people believe that the nothing is in fact the head of the lost reality. Also, this nothing is described as a being with no shape. Chapter 2 Season 5, 0 Point is exposed because of the Galactus. The lost reality sees this as a perfect time to attack. Even though the Foundation has sealed himself inside of the spire to protect the 0 Point, a giant mothership appears out of nowhere and destroys it. For some reason, the 0 Point is not inside. That is because the Imagine Order has hidden the 0 Point. Lost Reality sends their armies of chimeras to find the 0 Point. Imagine Order and Lost Reality fights throughout the season for the island. Alien disguised as a human is sent to find out the location of the 0 Point. Dr. Sloan, being very clever, finds out about this, makes them believe that the 0 Point is hidden inside of the Imagine Order's headquarters. But in fact, Dr. Sloan has hidden bombs under the lab. But to trigger the bomb, you have to be at certain range. So us players has been given that job. We go on the mothership, but this does not go according to plan because a secret is revealed. We find Kevin the Cube inside of the mothership. At that moment, the bombs are triggered and they're about to explode. At that moment, Dr. Sloan betrays us and reveals to us that she never had an escape plan for us. After that, we find out that there isn't just one cube. There is in fact thousands of cubes. This was the Lost Reality's plan all along. They somehow outsmarted Dr. Sloan. Mothership blows up. Everything that was inside of the mothership is now falling towards the Fortnite island. Final season of Chapter 2 is here, and the whole Fortnite map is completely corrupted by the Lost Reality. There are cubes everywhere, there are sideways zombies on the map, and these giant things. All of the cubes meet at the center of the map to form the convergence. Now, the Lost Reality decide to send their second warrior. This time, they send the Cube Queen. She's inside of the spear, just like the Ice King, in the middle of the map. During the final event of Chapter 2, we see the actual power of the Lost Reality. The Cube Queen shoots a light beam into the sky, tearing a giant hole. See, our Fortnite map is protected by this force field, and we cannot see anything beyond this shield bubble. And this is the first time we were revealed outside of the shield bubble. We find out what was causing that lightning that created the cube. Find bunch of Lost Reality motherships in the sky. That is when the Foundation and the 7 flips the Fortnite map. Yet again, the Lost Reality has been defeated. Or has she? Chapter 3 is here. A brand new island ruled by the 7. A huge war between the 7 and the Imagine Order breaks out. And yet again, another great opportunity for the Lost Reality to attack. This time, they're going to be more prepared and attack while everyone is distracted. The 7 defeats the Imagine Order. There is a huge party on the island, but not for too long because a mysterious creature is watching us. This is the Lost Reality's 3rd warrior. This time, they have given her a superpower to transform anything into chrome. Her name is Herald. Herald uses the power of the reality tree to connect the entire Fortnite map to the tree. This is because she has a huge plan next season. She starts by kidnapping the members of the 7 because the 7 are the only one that can stop her. Fortunately, the Foundation manages to escape, but she kidnaps the scientist, the visitor, and the origin. Since the reality tree is connected to the entire Fortnite map, she attacks the reality tree, turns the reality tree into chrome. This turns entire Fortnite map into chrome, and then she destroys the entire Fortnite map. Chapter 4 is here. We get new organization like the Peace Syndicate. It reveals to us that someone in their group is a mole. This person has hacked into the system and corrupted everything they had on the Lost Reality. We find out that this mysterious person is Highwire, and she's working with Triarch Nox. Triarch Nox was one of the warriors sent by the Last Reality. Along with Serenade, the Last Reality has sent them to create a distraction on the map. Now that we've got this old temple with bunch of symbols we saw on Kevin the Cube, Chapter 4 Season 4 is the right time for the Last Reality to attack. Now I think every time they've attacked, from Kevin the Cube to the Ice King, Cube Queen, and Herald, even though it may seem like they failed their mission, I believe they didn't. I believe everything is leading up to the next season, Season 4, which might be our final season of this chapter.